me to? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah, so, okay, bye.
There we go.
Rock and roll.
Bring your
Wow.
No, no.
Testing.
Lower.
Test.
Low.
We're good.
Test.
Oh.
Test.
Sounds like a rock star. We got our let's get ready to run.
Here tonight.
Test.
The other way.
Wow. We are winning back here.
Test. Is this any better?
It's loud.
Oh, boy, just to the rescue.
Now it's loud.
You gotta get one.
We need to both.
Test.
That's better. That's better.
Test.
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Sorry about that, new microphones.
Yeah, they work. They approved. I didn't see it.
All right, we're gonna get started now. Ready for coming in person and over Zoom. We have Ryan with Sharp Project Developments here. He's part of the project management company that's looking over some of our projects that we're currently engaged in. And tonight, we're going to be discussing the sprinkler system installation and the fire alarm installation. So what he's going to do is kind of walk everybody through the process of the projects, how it's going to affect unit owners and their units, work being done inside of your guys' units, and some safety precautions everybody needs to take. So, Ryan, please.
Testing. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, I'm Ryan Walpo. I work with Sharp Project Developments, and I'm your owner's rep for the fire alarm and fire sprinkler projects. I'm going to start with the fire sprinkler. For those of you that have been present in the building and have used the eastern stairwell, you've probably heard some noise coming from over there the past couple of weeks. Your fire sprinkler company, also known as Century, has begun fire sprinkler installations. For these first few weeks, they are doing work strictly in that stairwell. And those of you, they're doing core drilling, they're installing drain pipes, manifolds, all stuff they're going to do to begin their floor work. They're going to be starting on floor 29 and working top to bottom starting next week on June 1st. So what this looks like for you is they're aiming to do about one floor a week. So on a weekly basis, Monday, Tuesday, they're going to be strictly in your corridors. Wednesday, Thursday, they're going to be entering the units and doing the necessary work in those units. For those of you in the main tower, you're going to have a fire sprinkler head installed above your doorways, and of course with fire code. So you're going to see the contractors in your units for those 2 days. The property management team will have a representative with them at all times, so there's no need to worry about anything going awry while they're in there. Friday is a punch list day. They should be finishing up tie-ins in the hallway, and they should be out of your units by that Friday. The following Monday, they will proceed to floor 28, so on and so forth down the building. I believe Scott sent out an initial draft schedule that has the unit floors all projected all the way from floor 29, first floor, and the roof level, which should wrap up around December. For those of you that have checked your emails and looked at this schedule, you will notice there are a few things at the bottom that are to be announced. Those are the lobby level, the ground level, and the fire pump replacement. The lobby level and the ground level, there are other projects that have work going on in there simultaneously. So those are going to be done towards the end. It requires a lot of coordination. So we're waiting for the other trades to mobilize. I'll get into fire alarm in a minute. As for the fire pump, that happens because we need to have the full system set up so we can transfer the fire pump and minimize if the building needs to go on fire watch, and if so, how long. The idea right now is we're trying to do it so the building does not need to go into fire watch. I mentioned this the other day to you, Scott, but it's going to be That's gonna be a really long workday. That's gonna be probably early next year that we aim to do that, earlier on January, February 2027, where we're probably gonna have an extended workday on site where you can expect to see the contractor here for probably 12 to 14 hours doing that fire pump, but we're trying to do that to avoid putting the association on fire watch. So again, you're going to see minimal penetrations in your unit. You're going to see a hole being drilled in the ceiling or high in the wall just above your door frame, so we can put a new fire sprinkler there. This installation should take no more than 2 days for each of your respective units. And following along with the schedule, you can predict about when they'll be in your unit. We will send out updated schedules every month if things slow down, if things speed up. The next update we're anticipating is to come not next week, but the week after. And that is because the schedule they've given right now is all according to plan. And while I think we have a very good plan, we need to make sure that they're able to hit this schedule that they put out. So once they've confirmed that, hey, 2 days in the hallway, 2 days in the units, 1 day to patch everything up, that's going to be updated. If they're going a little faster, a little slower, we'll update that and give you all notice. That being said, we have worked it out with the contractor that unit days are Wednesdays and Thursdays. So again, Mondays, you shouldn't see anyone in your units. Tuesdays, no units. Wednesday, Thursday, each week, if you're on the floor we're on, you can expect to see contractors entering your home. This is all being done to bring the building fire sprinkler system to comply with current code and match all existing legislation. As for safety reasons, those of you on the 29th floor have probably already noticed, and if you are not up there, you will shortly notice that your ceiling panels, this lovely drop ceiling that we have here, all the tiles are gone. And that's because we do need to run pipes up here. That's how we get water from the stairwell. All the water comes up the stairwell and goes up the risers and then goes into your units through the pipes. Please, please, please don't touch it. It's not, you're going to see wires hanging. You're going to see loose pipes. You can look at it, just don't touch anything because none of that sets you in. Any of you with kids, I learned the hard way when I was 10, this aluminum grid does not support your weight. I learned that the hard way when I was a kid. Again, just don't hang from it. It's not monkey bars. If some of you I've noticed leave some items in the hallway, again, just please clear those out. We don't want anything to go missing or anything to be a tripping hazard. The contractors will likely move those if they're in their way and put it off into a corner. So again, just keep things. I know some people leave their shoes out in the hallway. They might put trash out in the hallway before they want to walk down to the trash chute. Just please, while the contract, especially when the contractor's on your floor, please keep that stuff in your units to not cause any hazards. As for other general safety things, this, like any other project, it's a construction project. I know it's in your home. We're going to do the best we can to minimize disturbance, but there is common safety protocol we want to keep in mind. Please, 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 if you're going to go into the hallways, if you're just walking halfway down to your neighbor to throw garbage in the trash chute, please put shoes on. The last thing anyone wants is to get a nail in their foot and have to go to the doctor for a tetanus shot. I know you guys, half you are looking at me going, why are you saying this? Because on every job I've been on, it's happened to somebody. They walk out, they're not paying attention, and although they do their best to clean everything up, they miss a nail, someone steps on it, and it causes condition. The idea for this project is, and for all of our projects, is for communication. I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of questions. We want to do these town halls semi-regularly. If you have questions going on, please, property management. Scott and I are in constant communication. We talk. We want to put a number on how many times a day we're sending emails back and forth or calling or texting each other. So again, we're in constant communication. Any questions that you guys have, if he can't answer them, he'll throw them to me and I'll answer. Hey, David. Let's go. Moving into the fire alarm project, Bass United is expected to start next week as well, but they are not going to be in your units right away. For the first couple of months, they are going to be working both in your stairwells again, starting with core drilling, and then they're going to move into working on the ground level and in the lobby level. They need to install some new fire panels, some new equipment that's going to associate with running all the conduits, running all the pipes, cables, boxes, devices, everything up the building to your units. Currently, Bass United does not anticipate having to enter the units until the 1st of September. Now, Bass United's scope, however, is going to be a little bit more intrusive. They do need to install speakers. They're going to be on the penthouse floors and work their way down. They are also expecting 1 floor per week. When we get a little closer, we're going to issue a full schedule because They're telling me they're not getting in there for 3 months, and I don't want to tell you guys they're going to be in unit this week, have them get delayed, and then that changes. As for openings you can expect in your units, you are going to have openings. This type of work requires constant fire inspection. So there may be a time where you're going, okay, they're done, but why is the hole still open? That just means that the city hasn't come out and looked at it yet. We want to make sure that the city and everyone's okay to remove the risk of having to reopen the walls, causing more holes and having to cause more patches. Additionally, there's a lot of units in the building that the secondary doors have had shelves or devices or kitchen appliances put blocking those doors. Those are technically against fire code, so those are going to have to be moved when these contractors are in there and doing this work. They do need to install these sprinklers within 12 inches of your doors, so they do need access there. And they will, the fire marshal, when he comes out and inspecting these, is going to be checking for that and citing all these violations. So please start making preparations to remove those so we can properly do these installations and we don't run into any issues with the fire department. As for Bass United's, again, safety, it's all the same thing. You're going to see open holes, don't touch them, wear shoes. Common sense solves 98% of construction injuries. The other 2% is usually safety equipment. What you are also going to see and what you can expect is your lobby is going to change a little bit. I don't know the name of the room. There is no nameplate on that room, but when you all walk in your lobby door on the lobby level, off to the right, there is a small desk and there is a door behind it. Those of you that see what's in there, there's an HVAC device in that room and a small storage closet.
Next to the mailroom.
It's next to the mailroom. So if you think you walk in to the right, you head off, if you narrow to the right, there's that door with a vent on it that is unlabeled. We're going to be adding a second door next to that, and we're going to be separating that storage closet. We're going to be taking all the storage out, all the shelves out, and that's where we're going to be installing the new fire panel. So when you guys see what's going on in the lobby, that's what's occurring. We're building out that new room. We're going to make it a 2-hour rated room. It was the best point given all the different rooms we had available in the building. It's ease of access for the fire department. I believe 2 walls of it are already fire rated because 2 of those walls abut the garage. Your engineer is confirming that as we speak. And we are looking to work with the fire marshal came out here early last week and we walked and we confirmed that that was the ideal place to put the fire panel. So we'll be converting that room for that purpose. Again, none of you will probably ever need to go in that room or see it, but if you see work going on, that's what's happening. Want another topic I'll make over?
Anything you guys think Ryan is missing or?
Oh,
What are we gonna do with the ceiling tiles? I mean, I don't think we can store them in on site on every floor.
So we'll have to discuss that, I guess.
I do have one more item actually. For communication, again, all communication needs to go through Scott. Even if you see an issue, the contractor's doing something they're not supposed to, a worker's doing something they're supposed to. Tell Scott. They're all going to, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you guys, and we're not, but if you tell them, you're not guaranteeing that Scott or I or the board ever hears about it. So please, anything you need to relate to the contractors, just tell the property management team and my team, and we will take care of it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, hello,
Hold on.
hello, hello, hello.
Hold the button.
Hold it.
Yeah, hold it. The old
Hello,
should
that's all.
be on.
You said violations. Was that violation gonna be towards the apartment or towards the building? If one of the doors are not open properly and access from, when they're inspected?
That, the honest answer is depending on the fire marshal, but they are likely going to look at both and say, guys, you need to fix this. But as soon as it's in an individual unit owner's home, it's likely falls on the unit owner.
So it's all up to you. Can you verify that, make sure?
I will verify that.
The other thing is, I went up to the 29th floor. There's a grade beam going across, that's the ceiling height, and how are you gonna get through it, or how are you gonna go around it? Have you seen that grade beam? It's only on the roof, on the 29th floor.
And going around it for what?
Well, it's right at the ceiling level, you can't, you have to drop.
That's that picture I sent you, right by the elevators.
It's a grade beam that's holding up probably the cooling towers. And it's below the ceiling top, believe it or not.
They will be working around that. They are aware of it and they'll be working.
Are there shop drawings that have been submitted?
I will find them and forward them to you.
Yeah, please.
I just have a quick question I want to clarify.
Of course.
We're not getting sprinklers on the wings, is that correct?
So. For the wing. This is not right. Okay.
I
For-
can hear you.
For the wings. The.
Microphone, because they're not going to be able to hear you on that.
It's also not
Yeah,
working.
this
Hold
one.
it. You
I
gotta
think I
hold
want it one at a time.
Testing.
Take mine, take mine.
Oh, okay, cool. So for the wings, because the wings are all catwalk, your sprinklers actually get installed in the catwalks, not in your actual unit. So that's where those are going to be.
Go sit down. Thank you so much.
Are you taking
For the 08, for the ones that broke out, the catwalk?
Just give us the stack numbers so we know which exact department, so everybody knows. Is that 10 and, Kathy, what are the stacks? Oh, 10 and what?
08.
Nine and an eight, the 9 and the 8.
9 and 8.
Anything in the main tower is getting sprinklers in the units.
No, it's a 9 and 8.
Yes,
Catwalk?
yes.
And what's the other side? 10 and,
You have 6 and 7, and you got, what's the other side? The other side is 14 and 16? That's
no,
not-
no,
I don't
no,
remember.
no.
No,
Go 5
The wings.
10 and 11.
10, 11. 10, 11, thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
10, 11, yeah.
That's it. We got 10, 11, and 8, and what was it, 9?
6 and
7, 6,
6 and 7, okay, 6 and 7.
6, 7.
All right, who wants to go? Yes.
I have a question on unit 2114. As you enter the door, the return vent is right on top. Are you installing the sprinkler before the return vent or after?
So there are some units and stacks where the vent is too close to allow for a sprinkler to be installed. So in those events, it's one of two situations. You're either getting a pendant, which would go high up on the wall off to the side, or it's going past the vent. Those are handled on a unit by unit basis, and I can go check with Sentry as to, for your particular unit, as to where it's gonna go.
If you go past the vent, you're gonna use a flex pipe or salad pipe?
Oh,
I believe solid.
Salad. So you're gonna keep clear of the vent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Hi, Barbara Savali, 607. This is the cleanup question. So I live in the wing and I believe that, you're going to be putting a speaker in the master bedroom or the primary bedroom.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay. So, and I'm also assuming that you have a cleanup plan for when you do the drilling and every day that you have a machine that you're going to clean up with, or do you cover the furniture? I was just thinking through the people that aren't here and, how do we, communicate that to them? Because it is going to be really dusty.
So there is going to be dust mitigation put into your units. That being said, if you have things that are near your doorway, like pictures, etc., I would highly recommend taking those down. Because again, you have people coming in and out your door for 2 days. They don't know the lay of your unit. They're not familiar with it. We don't want anything getting bumped directly coming off the walls. I've actually also spoken to the contractor and they've told me straight, they're like, look, there's a picture right in that hallway entry. We're going to want to take it down and put it somewhere. So it's your guys' home. So if you have it, take it, put it in a closet, put it on the couch, whatever it is, I would take those off the wall, put those away.
So are you run a wire like Hotwire did? Are you running a wire, like an invisible wire through, or how are you going to hook up that speaker?
It'll be in the ceiling.
Okay, so you're coming.
I'm sorry, for what? Sprinkler or the alarm?
For the speaker, because our ceilings are cement and, you can't get through that, so.
Be low voltage wire.
There is a low voltage wire being run. It will be in the ceilings for the hallways as they get to the unit, depending on which unit it is. It's a combination. I know a lot of you have drop ceiling in the front of it, so we'd probably use that in combination with the walls.
Yeah, we only have the drops, not, like in my unit, I have no drop ceilings.
If you shoot Scott an email address for specific unit, I can pull up the actual plan for your unit and tell you where that wire.
I just wanted to alert everybody in the wings, because we're a little bit different than everybody.
They're gonna attempt to wall fish the speaker wire in through any walls or soffits that you have.
Okay, but still move the paintings and and get ready.
Absolutely.
And you also have AC vents that are going, so that's also another easy way to go through. I just want to say, the reason why we're having this town hall meeting is before the project is starting, so everybody knows how to prepare for this. And the idea is, like, for example, when we had the concrete restoration in our unit, we had a weather wall put in because they had to dig into our unit. That didn't help at all. It was all dusty, doesn't matter what they did. So we have to make sure you cover everything. That's the reason why we're having this meeting, so everybody knows how to prepare for this meeting, for what's about to come.
So that I repeat what you just said, you want us to cover everything.
Yeah,
And so for the folks that aren't here, then how are you as a board going to accomplish that?
so that's what the people need to understand, that we're coming in. This has to be done. It's not like we want to do it. This has to be done. It's a project that is mandated. And as a board, we're taking every step to make sure that we mitigate the dust or the dirt or whatever is gonna happen, which is very minimal. When you think about it, it's just a few drilling. But it's still, the owners should take extra caution, extra steps to make sure that you cover your own stuff, if you care about it, obviously.
So Scott, I'm assuming you're just gonna, have helpers. Because a lot of us know everybody, like our neighbors and everything, so, we could go in if we had this clean and things like that, and we could do it for them, so that you didn't have the full staff off, but, we're a little bit different than the rest of, for the main tower, so I just wanna make sure that we think through that, so it's not gonna happen right now, but let's just have a plan for that.
One other thing, guys, and I'm sorry, while I do trust the contractors wholeheartedly, they are a well-vetted contractor. Both of them have been doing business in this area for well over a decade. It's a construction site, so I'll use what I do with my grandmother as an example. When I have workers in her house, I still take her jewelry and I put it in the safe. Nothing should happen, but I always say, why tempt it? So, and I have full trust in our teams, but just stuff like that, again, they're gonna do everything to do dust mitigation, but if you have something that really can't get even a speck of dust on it, put it in the closet, just don't run the risk.
What I'd like to suggest is the way you describe the sprinkler system, perfect. Maybe a small description for the fire alarm and what work they're doing inside the unit and where they're gonna make the holes, so everybody understands that and will prepare for it.
Every year is different.
The fire alarm, every unit is different based on your configurations. There's been a lot of unit owners that have done modifications since then, so it is different. The main realm of fire code is every bedroom fire alarm. That is what is legally defined as a bedroom, not necessarily what has a bed in it. So just because you have a room that you use as a living space, you lose as a storage area, that might still constitute a bedroom. And so again, your contractor's gonna come in, they're gonna be running wire into this unit, through the ceiling, into the walls, into each of those bedrooms, and installing a fire alarm on the wall. As for where specifically, each unit's different with configuration of what else is in the unit.
Well, I think these smaller units, the 1 bedrooms, the 14s, the 12s and stuff, simple. 2 bedrooms may be a little bit different. So I think if we come up with a standard plan, hand that out to everybody, it will be easier to understand and prepare for it. So we can prepare ahead of time, clean up, and make it simple for everybody.
Every unit is different, Gus. So that means that in a nutshell, it's every access door to a unit gets a sprinkler above it. Every bedroom gets a speaker with strobes, and the wires obviously have to get those locations. And every door inside your unit is gonna get a smoke detector on the inside of it and on the outside of it.
But I'm saying,
But every unit is different. That's the point.
14s are gonna be the same.
Some people made changes. That's the problem.
Ryan, I want to ask you a question. You're gonna do 1 floor a week. How many contractors are you anticipating on that floor working on how many units at the same time? My other part of that question is, the keys are gonna be given, security is gonna go up to allow these guys in. Are we gonna have a security officer up on that floor all day until, if they're working on 2 units, they can keep an eye on the units as well?
Yeah, so what the process is gonna be is when they're working their way down, a floor, they're gonna be entering the unit on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side. And
Opposite
then,
each other,
yes.
north and south?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then, yes, we will be having an employee with them at all times.
How many units are you trying to do? How many contractors are gonna be up there working on units at that time?
There's only gonna be one contractor at a time. The first is gonna be Century, which is starting on 429 next week and working down, and they're going 2 units at a time, and they think they can get the whole floor done in 2 days.
Okay.
It's you and the person across the hall, so we can maintain, since again, we're working up right above the door, so we can monitor the hall from the hallway point, and security will be with them the entire day.
So another question, are the holes gonna be covered? Since you were talking about them cleaning up possible nails or whatever left over, not to walk barefoot, are these rugs gonna be
They are-
secured with?
They're going to lay protections down in the hallway to prevent any damage, but again, if I put, say, I'm gonna use an example, if I use cardboard or Visqueen on the floor to stop anything from dripping onto them, that doesn't stop a nail from sitting there and potentially rolling off the side of it, sitting in the corner. They go home for the day and then
I get it. So my other question is, are they gonna wet mop this floor protection on the way out at the end of the day? Because what we've seen with some contractors that do work in the units, that put paper down on the floor at the end of the day, if they don't mop the outside the unit with all the sheet rock or whatever is coming into the walls, it seems to filter into everybody else's unit.
So in terms of specifically wet mopping, I'm not sure as to exactly how they intend to clean it. That being said, they are going to clean it. My intention is to be here Wednesday and Thursday around cleanup time because I want to make sure that they're leaving your units in a presentable condition. Again, floor 29, I'm going to apologize in advance if any of you are here, but you are a guinea pig here first. So there might be some issues and we are going to be on top of them managing it. My intention again is to be here both Wednesday and Thursday afternoon next week so I can monitor the situation and make any changes as needed.
So one other question, I'm sorry. Once they put the speakers in and the sprinklers, how much damage are you anticipating that we as owners are gonna have to fix? I mean, there are people that come in and put up the vent or the speaker. I mean, is there gonna be damage around it where I have to then paint?
There shouldn't, so in terms of matching your paint color, you will likely need to do touch-up paint around the opening, but the intention is they are going to be patching the holes and leaving them in a paintable condition.
Maybe we
Hold
need
on.
to let on, because
If you have a certain specific color, then it won't match up. If you just have white, they'll be able to do that. That's what they mentioned.
Yes, so on that comment, what, again, I do also recommend, guys, for those of you that have units, and I apologize, I've worked in concrete restoration and coating for a few years. If you have the touch-up paint, that's much better than them going, even if you have white and they say they'll bring white. If you haven't painted your walls in 5-7 years and I go and I put white on there, it's still gonna look different. Because there's nothing, we have not been able to match sun standing. So you have your window open, the sun shining in, your apartment looks great. That paint color slightly deteriorates over time. You don't notice it when it's the whole wall, but if I go in there and I put a small touch-up of brand new white paint, you will notice that difference.
I do want to mention again about how Ryan said protecting your belongings. This also includes those of you that have put your own paintings in the hallways, on the walls, those of you that have objects in front of your doors, those of you who are using your AC units as storage or AC closets as storage closets, which is a no-no with the fire marshal. Please remove all that stuff to avoid any damage, because part of this project is putting a sprinkler head inside of the AC closet as well. So they will need as tight of a fit as it is in there with the AC unit and hot water heater in there. People that have gallons of paint in there and brooms and all that stuff. Guys unfortunately have to take all that out, so they have a little bit more room to work in there.
I do also want to circle back to the fire alarm question. When I say every room is different, every stack is different, I'll give an example. On floor 14 in your bedroom, in stack 14 in your bedrooms, we're going to be aiming to put the speaker on the along the closet wall in your bedrooms. But in apartment 12, where you have 2 bedrooms, one's going on the wall and one's going in the one that's attached to the wall between the bathroom and the bedroom. So again, it varies based on where these speakers can exist and where we can run wire to with minimal disturbance. We did look at this plan with the engineer to minimize the amount of impact we'd have to do, but it's not, oh, everyone's getting it on their bedroom closet. Each stack is different. If you have specific questions about your unit, we can answer those. Again, just send those in.
Question.
Can I ask a question, please? I've had my
Go ahead.
hand up.
Who's that?
Hello?
Who's that?
It's Trish. I'm 1410. I'm sorry. I just don't know if you're seeing that I have my hand up for a while. I just have a
Yeah,
quick
I've had
question.
it up before yours.
We see it a
Oh,
little bit.
Jesus, we're gonna play cat and mouse
Okay.
game? Come on.
Well, we'll get to everybody's questions.
Can I ask a question right now?
Go ahead.
Okay, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, please.
When are the speakers gonna be installed on the wings? I just need to know that because I'm not down there all the time. So if I have to prepare my apartment for somebody to come in, do you have an estimate date of or time when that's gonna happen on the stack 10, I should say?
I do not have an estimation for specific stacks or floors on the wings yet for the fire alarm project. They're not doing any of the units until September, and they're going to follow the same pattern that Century is, where they're going to start on floor 29 and work their way down. So I would anticipate, based on that, they're probably not getting in there till at least first quarter 2027.
Okay, thank you.
Want me to go?
Yeah, please.
I wasn't clarified on the main tower, 08 and 09. We have a door that goes out to the catwalk. So we're still going to get sprinklers, even though we have the door that goes out to the catwalk?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now there's also an existing speaker that's on the wall, a PA that also comes through are they removing that equipment that's in that closet? It's something the speaker that's in there. Are they taking those out?
We can have those removed, yes. Those are wired into our current alarm system. I'd say 3/4 of them probably don't even work at this point. But yes, those will be obsolete when this project is completed. And yes, we can very easily have maintenance disconnect those.
I want to draw specific to something that Scott just said. So when the project is finished, the way this works is we set up the new fire alarm system next to the old one. Same with the sprinklers. We're setting up the new sprinkler system next to the old one, and then we switch it over. It's only at that point are we going to start looking at removal of the old systems. So just because they're done in your unit doesn't mean we're looking at taking the old ones out. We have to do that once the project is complete and we can turn the system all the way over to the new ones. That way the building is still under 24/7 protection.
More questions.
Michael, online?
Yes, thank you. So a couple questions. First of all, what's the size of the hole that's going to be drilled
For
for the sprinklers?
2 or 3 inches off the top of my head. It depends on which sprinkler head you're getting put in your unit.
Okay, so it shouldn't be 2 or 3 inch. I think it should be 1 inch. I'm in the business as well, so I'm wondering, and I'd like to get the answers on that when you got the answers, please. Therefore, there should be no repairs required. There should be no painting required. If we're drilling a hole and putting in the sprinkler head, then there should be no repairs, right?
With some repairs.
Technically, with the sprinklers, yes, you're correct, because there should be an escutcheon ring, right? That goes, escutcheon.
Correct.
That
Yes.
goes around it, yes. So with the sprinkler project, there should be minimal repairs, if any.
Well, okay, as far as I know, there shouldn't be any, but I will come down there because I'm not in town, as you know, quite often, Scott. So I will come down there when it gets to my floor. When is the pressure testing going to be done?
The system is in.
But when the system is fully installed,
So when it's fully installed, it's not going to be per floor.
They could do it.
we're going to go with what the city and what the fire department asks us to do.
Okay,
So
and
if they want to throw in a partial pressure test, we'll do partials. If they want us to do one at the end, if they only want us to do it at the end, we'll do it at the end.
okay, so I'm interested in knowing because there was a major accident, okay, at Auberge with respect to the sprinkler system. What's the liability insurance that's carried on there?
I don't have that.
I don't have that off the top of my head. I can respond in writing to the property manager tomorrow and we can send that out.
Okay, Scott, I'd like to know that, please. With respect to the fire alarms, are they in each bedroom?
Yes.
Yes.
And when did management find out about this?
And 2 years ago.
So when was it brought to our attention?
Requirements, Kevin?
So this has been an ongoing discussion for probably at least a year. It wasn't official until the fire marshal approved the ELSS report, which states all these requirements in it that the speakers have to go into each bedroom.
And is this throughout all of Florida, throughout Fort Lauderdale, throughout Broward County? What is it? Because I've done some research. I even had my contractor do some research in other buildings, and nobody knows about this yet.
Well, what? It's not Canada.
So this is part of the whole thing. Many years ago, those of you that were still in the building probably remember about doing a unit owner vote to forego retrofitting the sprinkler system in the building. And so the law at that time allowed buildings not to be fully sprinklerized if, I forgot what the percentage was, if a majority of the building or 70% or whatever. If the building got the votes from the unit owners, it didn't have to be fully sprinklerized. As years passed, the laws have changed, and what they allowed was, instead of having a building become fully sprinklerized, you could have a life safety system engineer create an ELSS plan to, I don't want to say bring you up to code, but to bring you up to compliance with the Broward County and the fire marshal. And so in lieu of really truly fully sprinklerizing the building, it allowed the building to put these sprinkler heads in certain areas, do this fire alarm system, stuff like the AC closet doors in the hallways. We had to make sure that those can close and latch on their own. So we put new hinges on those. There's things with fire dampers that need to be corrected in the building. So that ELSS report is in Building Link and has been for quite a while for anybody to read. And that basically lays down what the building needs to do to become compliant.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
Scott, I'm well aware of the sprinklers. I appreciate what you said there. Yes, it's been ongoing for quite some time. However, to my knowledge, it's been a shock to everyone, if not most people, with respect to these fire alarms going into each bedroom. As you know, I just finished my entire unit and spent over $1 million at it. Okay, and you know what? Nobody's going to be coming into my unit to cause such damages until I know exactly how it's going to be done, whether I agree with it or not, or who's going to be doing any rectification. I've got wallpaper, very expensive wallpaper on every wall. So I've got stone on walls. I would appreciate, Scott, if you can let me know when this became fire code, because I am getting legal counsel on this. And like I said, I am putting, unfortunately, I am putting the building on notice that you do not have any permission whatsoever to come into my unit to do these fire alarms until I give approval.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Mr. Spencer, online?
Yeah, yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I just was curious, will you be providing some movers and some personnel to help move furniture and TVs and stuff out of the bedroom that I need to prepare for the work in my unit? And my second question would be, is there a checklist for each unit for the work to be done? I mean, you come off pretty hard, as a contractor coming into our homes. You just think you're going to bust into my house. You should be cautious. I'm telling you. I'm not against going up to code, but I can't move the furniture. I can't move the TVs. You know, am I supposed to get vacuum cleaners and clean up after your personnel? You know, you just say you're going to show up and come in my unit with some security personnel. So I'm asking.
The
Thank you.
contract required to clean up after themselves. And Mr. Spencer, if you need assistance moving a TV, we can help you out with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just to clarify again, we're talking about speakers that they're installing, which are probably the size of smoke detectors, fairly small, probably at 1 or 2 or 4 screws. The only major issue is how do you run wires to those things, and it should be minimal damage to the apartment in general, and just maybe a bit of debris of dust, which we'll try to mitigate anyways. The contractor will try to mitigate anyways. So we don't foresee big issues unless you have something in the path of the wire or certain specific walls that, I don't know, can't have anything attached to them. We don't see any major issues with that. But if you do have a certain case that there is, like Michael mentioned before, like walls on the, like stones on the wall that can have anything attached to them, then please let us know so we know of it as well, and we can take an action plan regarding that as well.
The other item on that, guys, is, again, it's, when we make these plans, there is, I want to say, high 200 something units, 300?
307.
307.
70.
So 370. So yes, we know that there are going to be some minor deviations based on the unit layout. We know we're prepared for that. When I have a plan that shows a typical floor layout, that word typical means this is the base plan. The contractor is required as part of their contract to go in, look at these units and make sure that we're able to execute this work in each of the units. Fire sprinklers already done that. They checked the door entries and they made sure that we were good. There were a couple units that had minor issues with for example, the AC vents. That wasn't part of the plan. We came up with a solution to go around it. So we are here to make sure we can do this. If you have something that's directly in the way of the exact location they want to put a speaker and we need to move it 6 inches to the left, we can move it 6 inches to the left. It's none of that is that big of a deal.
Brooke?
Good evening. Denise has a good question about the number of people. So you're saying that there's going to be one tradesman on that floor with the Century.
Sorry, one contractor, so his crew.
So how many people is that? How many human beings?
I believe it should be a team of 3 or 4.
Okay.
Between the 2 units.
I'm considering getting some video cameras that can capture video and audio. Can we get a consent from the contractors to record the video and the audio?
Yes.
Thank you. I sent Scott a sample of a markup. It took me approximately 30 seconds. I went on to our building documents that are online that show the floor plan. I did a quick snip of that with Windows. You could also do it in iOS, I'm sure. I put it into Word and then I used the free-form shape and filled it in, and it looked better than half blanked. I would kindly request that we get an area where you think the contractors should be going, because you said something interesting that I should take my artwork or stuff off the walls. I can't really roll up my hardwood floor. My parents chose this petrified bamboo sustainable hardwood floor. I don't know if it gives Alex and Kathy any mojo being so sustainable and nice. I'm not a big fan of it, but I can't roll it up. So who's going to take responsibility for that floor protection?
Floor protection is the responsibility of the contractor. When I say to take the pictures off the wall, I just mean if you have a picture right by your door entry, we know the contractor's going to be in and out working there for a couple of days. That's what I mean by just taking those. I don't mean go into your closet and take all the artwork off every wall, just
I think,
something
I
right in
think,
the entry.
I think Denise and I and everybody understand that. Again, that diagram would help me know which is that artwork, correct? So I think the diagram would make sense. Legally, I can't do squat to encourage you to provide it. Floor protection. I had a contractor who, I normally protect my floor. I got a scratch in my floor. I'm not happy about that. Probably hasn't affected my life a ton. But explain this to me again in more detail. How are they going to protect my hardwood floor? Because I have like Ram board from Home Depot, which I think is a great product. How are they going to do it? Are they going to?
So they should be, depending on the type of floor, they should be laying some type of floor protection down. And I say that because you have the old petrified hardwood floor. Carpets require protection, different tile would require different protection, but they should be laying floor protection on the floor in the form of Ram board, cardboard, visqueen. Depending on what scope they're doing that day, they should be laying protections down. On top of that, I'm also going to highly suggest this. I have asked the contractor, and they're supposed to photograph every single unit before and after. And I highly encourage you as unit owners to do the same. That way, when there's any discrepancies, we can go right back to the photos when they start and say, this is what it looked like before you came in, and this is what it looks like now. Clearly, your team causes damage, and they're liable to fix it.
I was walking down the hall here. A lady mentioned that about taking the photographs. I think it was a great idea from her, and it sounds like you concur. One of the things I was thinking with AI, there's going to be a lot of problems. Do you think it would make sense to establish an email address and all the homeowners can send their before photographs in, and then we can have a timestamp that these photos actually existed as they did? I think that would make some sense. And I haven't had nearly the bad luck of having injuries on all the projects I've run. So I guess I'm grateful to God. And it's interesting to hear your experience because I like to hear that. I think Mike Gasparis made an excellent point that when we do water up these sprinklers, that really does pose an incredible cost hazard because of the way water goes through the building. And I think it's really, I think it would be a good decision to take a look at a increased level of protection from insurance. So I think that I realize the contracts have been let with insurance requirements, but personally, I have no issue with going back and saying, hey, we had this amount of insurance, but now when we think about things, changing the insurance may make sense. So I would really encourage you to take Mike's comments and experience very seriously. Okay, well, I look forward to having the floors protected. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, I just want to go back to what Gus was mentioning before, to have a floor plan. So it's just wires running to the actual devices. If you're at the unit and you don't want the wire to run a certain way, just like Ryan said, just ask the contractor to run the wire the other way so it gets to wherever it needs to get. There's basically point A and point B. The path between them doesn't really matter. If you're interested in something else, do it. I mean, obviously, if you ask for it to go something crazy, it's not going to happen, but something that makes sense, that could be done. I don't see a contractor saying, no, I want to ruin your unit in order to run a cable.
Let me just say something real fast. We have a directive from the fire marshal to do this work. We have a date to complete this work at the end of this year, but due to the fact that the work has started, we should get an extension. If one of the owners, I don't think, allow us to do any type of work or comply with this directive, who is going to get the violation? Is the building going to get the violation, or is the owner going to get the violation? That's something that I want clarification on.
I would need to confer with them on that.
Oh, confirm with whoever you want to confirm with.
Your floor.
Hey, what do you have for dinner tonight? What do we have for dinner tonight?
Pretty, it's mine, okay? Yeah, so mine is kind of like, I'm just seeing it because just like we had the issue with the patio doors and the concrete restoration, and it slowed the whole entire building down. So it's not even about whoever says that they can't go in the unit, but there are units in the two, the conversion units that people have closed off, that second door in the kitchen, also in 3 bedrooms, they've done that. Okay, so if people aren't at this meeting, some people are oblivious, they have no idea what's going on. They're starting on 29, so they get to 28 and somebody closed that door and they haven't opened that up yet. Now what happens?
So
Because then they're not gonna get done a floor a week.
there is going to be time award, so I guess delays caused by ownership are not the fault of the contractor, so the reason I'm saying
So
it.
let's stop right there.
No, let me,
Yeah, no,
please
no,
let me
no,
finish.
no, I'm not arguing with you. Did the contractor go in and look at every single unit?
Yes.
Okay, have the owners been notified that they have to have things done differently?
That is,
This is what the meeting's about.
Okay. Okay.
By the way, Scott, can we make sure, I know usually like within 30 days, we upload the video. Can we make sure that this video is uploaded as soon as possible? Maybe tomorrow or the day after, so everybody has it since we're starting the timeline already? Thank you.
Scott, I think they have to also look out for the hot wire, the, optical fiber filament that's going in
Yes.
around the same area
Yeah.
where they're gonna punch through. Damaging that
Yeah, correct.
invisible wire.
They have to stay away from that, and if they damage anything, like Ryan was saying, they're responsible.
That's hard to see.
No, so there's,
Noticeable.
yeah, and then in the hallways up in the ceiling, there's actually a black coating
Yeah, it's black.
around it, so it's very visible in the hallways. It's just once they're in the unit, you need to
Close
take
the
the extra precaution on that.
What's the fish wire? Fish wire. Next.
Hands up, door.
DBA Joseph Playa, 1601. I have a question related to what Kathy just mentioned, okay? I have other units and some other people, they also own units with different condominiums. Excuse me, at the Gold Ocean Club, we have a situation where some people have closed the kitchen doors prior to when they moved in and so on and so forth. So what they've done, or what they told them to do, is that they can close the outside at their cost, okay? And then there's no sprinkler system, there's no entry in and out. I assume that that's gonna happen here too, am I right or wrong?
are you referring to actually removing the doorways?
Yes, let me tell you why. May I? Okay. In my particular condo, in stack one, I have no wall to my left, no walls to my right. I have 2 doors of less than 5 feet. I've had people from fire department come in and they like that, do everything approved, okay? So, my particular case, I have 2 doors, less than 5 feet in the kitchen, quite open. And they told me you were gonna leave the second door and you could put whatever you want in front of that second door.
Can you speak into the microphone, Joe?
Sure, sure. They told me that I could put anything I want 13 years ago in front of that door, because it's not being used and I don't need 2 doors, 4, 5 feet of a kitchen. They serve the public purpose. So what I'm saying is that in that case, I am asking at the Gold Ocean Club, they would say to me, fine, you can close the outside panel, take out the door or leave the door there, just close it in, paint it, your cost. That's what their solution has been.
So following code, if it's a door and it's technically a means of egress, it does need a sprinkler. So to answer your question, what happens at some buildings and what some unit owners choose to do is they choose to remove that door entirely. They turn it into a wall. They like take the door out and they make it a wall, and then it doesn't need a sprinkler and they can be used for whatever. That is not a question that I can answer. That is a question for building management if those type of modifications are allowed and the process for doing that. That's not something that the fire sprinkler contractors look.
I understand. So I would like to the board that if that is this case, and as other buildings, at the cost of the owner, they just close the doorway. There is no doorway. There's no violations, no fire violations, it's according to code. So please, if you could put that on your agenda, look into and respond to me. We have until September to get to my floor. Thank you.
Okay, September is for fire alarm, fire sprinkler is starting next week.
Next week. Okay, so then, as soon as somebody lets me know, I'll hire a contractor if necessary, have the door closed, and that's gonna be done with it, so that doesn't pose any problems for the building. Needs no problem.
I suspect that those secondary doors were just service doors for the. Yeah, I suspect that there were service doors just, as a matter of access to the unit to bring in groceries, for the staff to go in and out. So I don't think it's officially a means of egress. So I think I would suspect.
Every door, I think that's right. Let me explain to you why. In that door that's in your kitchen, the purpose of that door is not to bring in groceries, and I'm not trying to offend you in any way, please apologize. The purpose of that door being there, in the case of the stove goes on fire or another, you have to get out of there. So when these stacks were designed, it's different than what they look like today with walls missing, okay? In my particular case, there are no walls like this. I just walk in where he is, and I'm out. The purpose of the door, so that's why I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe they're gonna say, no, close the doorway, and then I'm fine. Okay, but I just wanted to bring it up so that Kathy said, and she's right. I don't want to be delaying the whole building from doing what has to be done that I have to do. I want to get it done. If I need to get it done in 2 months, it's done in 2 months. That's, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not empathy. There's a purpose behind that, okay? That's from us. Right.
You're absolutely right, Joe. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like every door will need to have a sprinkler above it. Every access door to the unit will need to have a sprinkler above it. The only thing I don't understand is why do you want to block an access door to your unit?
I already have. I put a refrigerator there.
Oh, so from the inside, you're saying from the inside,
Refrigerator for a day, and I can bypass, and they can put a straight. I'm not looking to do things.
you're saying from the inside, you blocked it. It just looks like an exit from the outside.
Yeah, I'm sorry. From what I understand, I'm very close to fire department. So what the reason, purpose of it is so that when the fire department comes, they see a door, they think there's going to get in. Well, if there's a refrigerator behind, they can't get in. So I don't want, that's not the way I want things to be either, I understand. But what I'm saying is that the solution that I found.
Well, may I chime in for a second, please?
Sure.
Joe, in an effort to resolve this, I believe, okay, it's about distance, okay? Your door at the kitchen, okay, should not be an issue. Your door at your bedroom end will be an issue, but the distance is what you need to check with the fire marshal, because I believe it's within code that you can close that door off.
Yes, I do too, because Michael, I did ask them when I did renovation on my condo, I had the fire marshal come to you. I was president at the time. So I said, take a look at that. I don't break any rules, regulations, especially as being president. You're gonna throw, Alex is the first one smiling over there. He's gonna throw thoughts at me. And he was so, yes, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. I just, as Kathy mentioned, let's prepare what needs to be done so things run smoothly. That's all I'm trying to do. I want to cooperate in any way I possibly can to make things move quickly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vince online?
Hey, Vince. Hey, Vince.
Hey guys, I just had to hit the unmute button. Listen, I hope everybody's well. Just a real quick one on testing these sprinklers. I would highly recommend testing floor by floor, doing an air pressure test.
Yeah, of course. That's what it's done.
I mean, this is commonly done. I wouldn't do the whole building at one time.
Yeah,
I will do it.
Testing for
I wouldn't wait to do the whole,
No.
floor by floor.
Yeah. No
All
problem.
right.
And it's gonna hold the price.
And the other issue with the violation, Alex.
Yeah.
That they're they're gonna go after Playa del Sol on a violation. They're not gonna charge each individual loan on it. Just, it won't happen. They'll go after PDS. And that's it.
I don't
All
know.
right, guys. That's all I had.
Thank you, Vince.
Anybody else?
Any last questions? Because we're scheduled for a board meeting. Going once, going twice.
So.
5-minute break.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.